Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my F1 23 MyTeam career mode. This is part 20 of the series. If you did miss the last episode, please make sure to check it out. It was around Miami where Lando Norris claimed his third career win, and it was a four-way battle for the win by the end of the race. It was a DNF for ourselves. Unfortunately, I messed up the fuel strategy. I ended up running out of fuel with a lap to go, and Oscar Piastri had an absolute heartbreak moment DNFing from the race while leading. If we now take a look at the performance chart, so it's getting very close up at the top. You got Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes and McLaren all right there at the top, very close proximity. Then you can see that we've made massive gains in our R&D. We're well and truly making our way into the midfield of the pack, and we're now going to make our way to practice. Imola's generally been a track where I'm pretty good at. I tend to find quite a bit of pace around the circuit as we now jump straight into the practice programs. And without having to take any extra laps whatsoever, we immediately go purple in the race strategy program. Now going to the tyre wear. Once again, the first lap in, straight away we've gone purple. So this is showing very good signs for what could be a pretty good weekend. And then once again, with the first lap into the program for the energy usage, we've gone purple. So practice ended up being very simple in the end. We're showing good speed, and Oscar Piastri, Valtteri Bottas, and George Russell, your top three in practice. Very good pace from Piastri, actually being on the medium tyre and being able to put in a quicker lap than all the soft tyre runners. Alex Albon P11, and then ourselves P14. As we now go straight into qualifying, so hopefully, I'm hoping I can at least make it into Q3. Then from wherever there onwards would be a bit of a bonus, but Q3 is definitely going to be the goal for today's session, as Nico Hulkenberg sets the pace early on here in Q1, and we're going to cross the line to set a 15.9, which is immediately beaten by over a second by Lewis Hamilton. So definitely need to find plenty more pace. At the moment we're setting P11, which is very quickly turned to P6, and it's a purple final sector too, so definitely showing a little bit of pace there. But we're fast forwarding to the end of the session, so we ended up finishing P15, so very nearly ended up getting knocked out. Alex Albon, on the other hand, showing great pace, is sitting P4 as we now head into Q2, and we're having a bit of a moment going through the chicane. We've locked up the rears. Well, lost the rears. I can't remember if there was actual lock there or not, but definitely lost the rear going to the chicane, and that's throwing away that luck going through the 14-15 chicane. So now we're going to have to go for another attempt, and this attempt will keep us P11. So I reckon we might have to stick on another fresh set of tyres, but we're going to give it one more crack on this first set of tyres. We managed to go 3/10 quicker. Will this put us inside the top 10? No, it puts us P12, so definitely have to go in and grab another set of tyres to try and make sure that we can actually make it into Q3, which is ultimately the goal. At the moment we sit P8 behind our teammate Alex Albon on P7, but unfortunately it's not enough to make it. We miss out on about 0.2 of a second. So Hamilton, Leclerc, and Norris were your top three. Albon does make it through into Q3, so very good to see that the car does have some pace.
Welcome to Imola, the spiritual home of Ferrari. But you don't need me to tell you that. Just look at the red-clad Tifosi in the grandstands. They're ready. Are you ready? For the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola, featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit, and its only DRS zone. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Oscar Piastri completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Sainz, Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Stroll, Albon, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Liam Lawson, the Rainmaster, Tsunoda, Sargent, Iwasa, Magnussen, Bottas, Joe, De Vries, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into turn one?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn one as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Here we are for our race strategy for this Imola Grand Prix. We're going to stick with the default strategy, starting on the medium tyre and then finishing on the hard tyre, so hopefully that's going to be the way to go. And then you'll take notice that we've left the fuel alone. We've just left it to where Mark has decided to give us the fuel, because definitely do not want to go 2 races in a row where we have a Miami moment. So definitely learning from last episode's incident and running out of fuel, so definitely don't want to make sure we do that again as we now start the pull up into our grid spot, hoping to keep the purple streak going. It is another purple parking spot, so definitely making sure that we take any opportunity possible, as now the lights are going out. 2 McLarens on the front row, and it is 5 lights, and away we go. Liam Lawson's got actually a pretty good start, but it's our teammate Alex Albon who's actually got a really bad start, so we're going to be definitely looking to try and capitalize on his poor start at the moment. We're squeezed by Liam Lawson, so I actually decided to back out of it. I didn't really want to go 3 wide into there. So we've definitely lost a couple of positions, and we're going to try and go around the outside of Nico Hulkenberg to try and pretty much make it so then we've gained 1 position since the start of the race, and that has put us up to P13 for now, as we now take a quick look at the front of the field, and it's actually George Russell who's managed to split the 2 McLarens off the start, as we now fast forward to the start of lap 2, and this is now George Russell going for the lead of the race over Oscar Piastri. So remember last season's episode of Imola, turn 2, that is, into that first braking zone, was definitely a favourite overtaking opportunities. We get it all wrong on the exit of turn 18, and so that allows Nico Hulkenberg back through, and as that's all happening, Oscar Piastri is making his way back through George Russell, so definitely plenty of overtaking happening at the moment. And now this is Yuki Tsunoda trying to get back by us, but we're able to defend. Unfortunately there was a little bit of contact, so hopefully that's not given us too much damage, as now the 2 Ferraris are going at it, and this is Carlos Sainz making up a position on Charles Leclerc with the 2 Red Bulls tucked in behind them as well. So definitely lots of overtaking happening at the moment, and as we say that, George Russell he's wasting no time. He wants to make sure he keeps his lead of the race, so he's gone for the lead once more, as now we're looking to set up a move going into that 14-15 chicane. We've got a good run on Nico Hulkenberg. We're a little bit too far back, but we're still going to send it down the inside, give him a little bit of squeeze as we hit the apex of turn 15, and that's going to force him to have to back out of it, and that's us up another position now into P13, as now Oscar Piastri has retaken the lead of the race, and these 2 battling has now brought in Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton into this battle as well. So could we very quickly see another 4-way battle for a win, as the 2 Ferraris switch positions once again, and they're going to go at it again. And so this is now Carlos Sainz retaking that position from Charles Leclerc, now back to our POV. This is now going to be Nico Hulkenberg with the aid of DRS. He's going to get back by us. We're not going to battle this. We're just going to let him go through it. We're going to make sure we don't get compromised on our racing line, as now George Russell's retaking the lead off Oscar Piastri. So this could very well go for the entire race distance, as now this is our teammate being overtaken by Pierre Gasly. So unfortunately this will actually put Alex outside of the point, so hopefully he can get this position back, or at least through the pit stop phase try and get some positions back out of this, as now Nico Hulkenberg's got past Liam Lawson, so now we're going to be trying to do the same thing. This Haas kills its tyres very quickly, just as in real life, so we're going to go around the outside going through that chicane. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but no harm done, so hopefully we can keep pushing forward, as now this is going to be Carlos Sainz getting overtaken by Charles Leclerc, so the 2 Ferraris switching places once again, and then you would have noticed on the timing that there was another overtake for the lead of the race, so Oscar Piastri is once again in the lead of this motor race. So the McLarens and the Mercedes are very feisty at the moment, as now Nico Hulkenberg compromises his line a little bit there, trying to defend from ourselves into that chicane. So we're going to be trying to use this momentum that we've got against Nico to try and make a move going down into turn 17, the second to last corner, effectively, the last real main braking zone, and we're going to get the move done, and we're going to have the aid of DRS, since that we passed him after that DRS line, is now this is George Russell trying to get that position back from Oscar Piastri. He's going to do it very easily, really, before the corner. And then at the same time, that was Carlos Sainz he's actually battling away with the Red Bull, so he's fallen off the pace quite a bit from Charles Leclerc. And so now that looks like it's Max Verstappen trying to get past Carlos. They're going to have to go side by side once more. And in the background, that was Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton is pulled off to the side of the road, so we're going to have to try and see what's happened there. You can see there on the totem pole, he's falling down and listed as a DNF, so we're going to have to try and work out what's happened there. As now back to our POV, there is the confirmation Lewis Hamilton is out of the race. He was sitting like P4 from memory, so he was doing really well in this race, and unfortunately, that looks like an engine failure, as, yeah, there's the telltale signs of the smoke coming out of the rear of the car. So engine failure for the Mercedes. It's generally been the Red Bulls that have been having the engine failures so far this season, as Oscar Piastri takes the lead of the motor race. And this is Carlos Sainz. He is getting back past Max Verstappen. So there is plenty of battles going on. And I must have missed the point where Alex Albon got back past Pierre Gasly, because Pierre Gasly just had to make another overtake on Albon to get himself up into P9, as now we're going to be looking to try and make a move on our team and to get ourselves into the points. We straight line the chicane actually a little bit, we're going to carry a bit too much speed in there, and going onto the shallow line, it really just compromised me, so I had to take a little bit of extra exit as well, but got the move done just without contact as well, so that puts us into the points, as now this is Max Verstappen making a move on Carlos Sainz. So Sainz now battling these Red Bulls has well and truly fallen off. He's 3 seconds behind Charles Leclerc now, as now we're back onto our POV, and we're going to be trying to make this move on Pierre Gasly, as now markers are currently telling us that our pit window is about to open, so within the next 2 or 3 laps we'll be jumping into the pit lane to go onto these hard tyres, and we make the move on Pierre pretty easily, as now this is Oscar Piastri. He's going to be looking to try and get past George Russell, but in the background that is going to be Lando Norris. He's going to be the first person in the top 3 to blink and pull himself into the pit lane. So could this be a very good undercut from Lando Norris to possibly get him into the lead of the race? So he was definitely close enough for a undercut to definitely be effective if these hard tyres definitely give him the upper hand, as now we're going to pull into the lane to go onto these hard tyres. The estimated is a 2.3, and it is a 2.3, so excellent pit stop there from the boys and girls in the pit lane for us, as now we're currently behind Stroll, and that is Nick DeVries actually going past us, so I wonder if he's yet to make a pit stop and he's just trying to extend his stint try and pray for a safety car. But anyway, so we come out of the pit lane in P16, and there it is. Nick DeVries is in the lane, so he was just definitely extending his stint. And now let's see if we haven't made any inroads on the field. And there it is. We've actually been able to get past both Perez and Sainz, so definitely gained a couple of positions through this pit stop phase, but hasn't taken very long at all for Carlos Sainz to be able to catch back up to us. And he's actually going to make a move in a pretty unorthodox spot. It's not very often you see a move made going into turn 9, so Carlos Sainz definitely has plenty of pace in that Ferrari, as now back to the front. This is Oscar Piastri. He's trying to make a move for, on George Russell once again, but this is not for the lead of the race. It's now for P2. Lando Norris has successfully pulled off an undercut, and he's got about a 2.5 second lead over these two. So these two battling has definitely helped out Lando Norris and his undercut. So I wonder if McLaren were maybe favouring Lando Norris in this championship battle so far by keeping Oscar Piastri out that little bit longer. But we're going to do an order check while we're at it. So it's a McLaren 1-2, Norris from Piastri, then George Russell rounds out the podium. Then there's Leclerc, Verstappen, Stroll, Sainz, myself in P8. So we're doing a very good recovery drive at the moment to find ourselves P8. Then it's Perez and Gasly rounding out the points. And hopefully Alex Albon and P11, our teammate, can make it into the points. He's P11, but under attack from Nico Hulkenberg in P12. Then it's Lawson, Tsunoda, the two Williams of Sargent and Iwasa, P15, P16. It's Magnussen, Ocon. Then the two Saubers of Bottas and Zhou in P19 and P20. Then it's Nick DeVries. And then our only retirement so far in this race is Lewis Hamilton, who retired on about lap 10, I reckon it was. As now this is George Russell making an overtake on Oscar Piastri going into turn 2. So definitely George Russell, even if it is just for P2, wants to try and get that one extra spot. And only a lap later, it's now Piastri trying to get that P2 back off George Russell. But I was saying that these two battling may be affecting their shot against Lando Norris, but they've actually gained a little bit of time, so maybe this DRS straight is definitely helping them out as we set a fastest lap of the race as we're hunting Carlos Sainz. We're going to be coming from a long way back, but this DRS is very effective. We're going to try and go around the outside, but I don't think it's quite going to work. Sainz has got a bit of a little tank slapper coming out on the exit of turn 3 going into turn 4, which is going to compromise his run. So we're going to go up the inside, then around the outside, going through 5 and 6. And we do run a little bit wide, but we managed to not loop it on the gravel on the exit there. So we've successfully managed to get back by Carlos Sainz. So and we're going to try and see now if Stroll, who's nearly 3 seconds up the road, is definitely a possible next position, as now Sergio Perez is going for Carlos Sainz. So maybe Carlos Sainz has just cooked his tyres, going a bit too fast too quickly, and but Sainz is going to go really late on the brakes, and successfully actually, no, he hasn't. I thought for a second that he's defended from Sergio Perez, but Perez has still managed to get back by him as Piastri makes yet another move on George Russell. So these two definitely going at it probably all race long. And now this is a battle that I wasn't expecting to see. Stroll versus Verstappen, and Stroll has actually managed to get the move done on Verstappen as Sainz gets back by Sergio Perez. And that looked a bit dodgy there from Oscar Piastri. He's swerved very late to the inside there to try and block off George Russell, but Russell has still somehow managed to find a way by the Australian driver, and now it's Stroll under attack from Max Verstappen. So plenty of battles up and down the field at the moment, and again that Aston Martin's doing very well to be battling with the Red Bulls as at the moment, as now Oscar Piastri gets back by George Russell, and now this is going to be Stroll. He's made another move back by Max Verstappen, so hopefully these two battling will actually help me gain some time. As you can see there, I've gained about 0.8 of a second on him since I got by Carlos Sainz, as Perez makes another move to get by Carlos Sainz. George Russell's now back by Oscar Piastri. As now we take a look at Max Verstappen, he's gone past Stroll once more, but you can see there in the background we're ever so slowly getting closer to these guys. It's now 1.7 seconds between us to the back of those two cars, as Stroll is now making yet another overtake on Max Verstappen. Look at that, we are once again much closer to the back of these two cars battling, as now Oscar Piastri makes another move on George Russell. So this battle probably going to go all race long, but as you can see there, the gap between Norris and Piastri is now less than a second, so this could very quickly turn into a 3, possibly 4 car battle, but it looks like probably not a 4 car. It's like close 6 seconds off the pace, but Stroll makes yet another overtake on Max Verstappen, and look how close we are now. We're about 1.5 seconds back, but all it takes is them to go side by side awkwardly once for us to gain a lot of time up on them. As now this is Oscar Piastri going for the lead of the race, so that has very quickly changed around, and Piastri is now the leader of the race. Could this be Oscar Piastri's first race win in Formula 1? As now, as I was saying, all it's going to take is one side-by-side moment for them to get slowed up enough for us to get DRS. We've got DRS, and now look how close we are. And that was Max Verstappen making yet another move, and now we're going to be trying to line up another overtake going into the chicane. You saw there Stroll got all sorts of crossed up coming out of turn 12, turn 13. And now we're going to go around the outside through the chicane, and now our eyes are going to be onto Max Verstappen to try and get this position off of him. And now, fast forwarding just a little bit, we've got another retirement being announced here. This is Logan Sargent. He's now dropped out of the race, unfortunately, for the American driver here in Italy. But for now, we're focusing on this battle. This is us now. We've got DRS on Max Verstappen. We're probably going to have to try and go around the outside, as the AI are very good at defending into turn 2 here. And we try to go around the outside, but Verstappen's very good. He gives us a little bit of a squeeze going into turn 3 there. And this is a replay on how Logan Sargent DNF from this race. So this is another Mercedes power unit in this race. DNFing, so unfortunate for any team that's in Mercedes at the moment. Now we send it down the inside, we try and do a fake, and we make contact with him. Max Verstappen has to cut the chicane, we go wide, a lot of wheel-to-wheel contact there, and we've actually lost a bit of our front wing, but it's Lando Norris who's going to claim victory here in Imola in the end. But for us, we're now going to have to try and limp it home with Max Verstappen all over the back of us, and we're going to just be able to keep P5 in the end. Definitely a bit of a clumsy race, especially that last overtake was pretty clumsy, I must admit. But it was definitely a audacious dive bomb. But I felt like the move was on, and I felt like I was far enough up when the contact was made. So play on.
McLaren have pulled it off. They've won in spectacular fashion here today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium.
So there we have it. Lando Norris's 4th career win, a 3-way battle in the end for the victory. 2 races in a row where we've had a pretty good battle for the win. A very good recovery drive from ourselves, gaining up about 10 positions in the end. So can't be too discouraged with the progress we've been making so far this season to be able to get a couple of points finishes so far. But definitely plenty of work yet to be done as we now take a look at the race results. So the rest of the top 10 followed as Leclerc, then myself. In the end, finishing P5, Max Verstappen, Stroll, Sainz, Perez, and Pierre Gasly rounds out the points. And unfortunately for Albon, he kind of just kept falling a little bit further back after the pit stop phase, so ended up finishing P13. And now having a look at the driver standings, Lando Norris leads the way by 23 points over Charles Leclerc, and then Oscar Piastri rounds out the top 3 in the driver's standings. And myself is currently P12, 2 points behind the next driver in the standings, and then McLaren are leading the way by 26 points, and then Brabham Meguiars, we find ourselves P7, trying to chase down Alpine in the constructor standings as we head back to the HQ now. So in the marketing, we're going to upgrade the activities management to try and improve that in the side of the department. So now in the aerodynamics, we're going to upgrade the quality control to try and make sure more of our R&D components that go through. And now in the durability, we're going to be upgrading the control electronics failure analysis in a attempt to try and improve that side of things as well. And now in the marketing department, we've been asked yet another question about Alex Albon, so one of the joys of being a team owner. And I was very tempted for a second there to actually not let him do it, but we're going to let him do it because you never know, he could prove himself quite worthy and give us a bit of a better look as a team if one of our drivers ends up winning the esports. But that is going to be all for this episode. So as you can see, that up next is Monaco, so we're definitely going to be hoping to try and pull some more magic and get another victory in Monaco. So again, if you did enjoy this episode, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.